Update on the contaminated water leak at Piney Point. Officials in Manatee County say there's been a partial breach, and now they're trying to stop a full one. And Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency. Good evening to you. I'm Jasmine Stiles. We want to get straight out to ABC Action News reporter McKenna King. She's been following the situation since last night. Now, McKenna, we noticed officials changed their tone from last night's press conference, and at one point they believed everything was under control. What's changed since then, and what are the immediate impacts to homeowners and businesses around that area?
Well, Jasmine, a lot has changed just in the last 21 hours or so, and that includes the closure of US 41 here. In fact, just in the last 10 minutes, FHP pushed us further south on US 41. That closure now extends clear to Moccasin Wallow Road. Now, when we left the scene last night, DEP was actively working to back up support of the southeast wall of that retention pond. They were piling rocks over that leak, but those attempts were unsuccessful, and ultimately that water came through those rocks, which caused them to evaluate the structural stability of this, fearing a total structural collapse. And that's when they extended that evacuation order, expanded it, in fact, to encompass an even larger area. Now, the good news here is that a full breach has not occurred at this point. Officials are calling the current situation a partial breach, meaning water is flowing out of the contaminated retention pond, but the Department of Environmental Protection is trying to work fast to empty enough water out of the pond and into the bay in order to relieve some of the pressure. They do have additional pumps out here removing some of that water, and at this point, they're pumping just over 22,000 gallons a minute into Tampa Bay at Port Manatee. They're also pumping additional water into the borrow pits and lower elevation areas on the property of the old phosphate mine in hopes of preventing the water from spilling out to the nearby gas plant, businesses, and homes. But keep in mind, this is just one of 3 ponds on this gypsum stack. The other 2 smaller ponds are more stable at this point, but there is still a risk.
The risk factor is really a potential release of nearly 1 billion gallons. The material in the other 2 pools, keep in mind, right now the volume that's leaving is basically salt water. We saw ducks yesterday. There are snooks swimming in there. I mean, it's sustaining wildlife. That's not the case for the other 2 pools.
Hope says the water in the other 2 pools is toxic water that would be harmful to life if it got released before getting treated. They're trying to prevent that from happening by relieving the water in the unstable pond to prevent a total collapse of the gypsum stack. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is on site around the clock trying to prevent the situation from worsening.
The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is prepared to and dedicated to the full enforcement for any damages to our state's natural resources. So that is definitely happening. It's just right now our top priority is ensuring the ceasing of the breach.
Now here's a look at the current evacuation zone, which county leaders expanded this afternoon. This encompasses the area a half mile south of the site and 1 mile north of the site. At this point, county officials say all of the people who live in the evacuation zone have left, and the Red Cross is on site to help them with shelter, but they say so far none of them have requested it. And we did just get a breaking update just as we came on the air. The Manatee County officials have extended that evacuation order. Want to get that to you right now. They have extended the evacuation zone to 1/2 mile west and 1 mile southwest of Moccasin Wallow Road. And that's where we're standing right here. That's where FHP has just closed off this additional section of US 41. Do also want to let you know that the Manatee County Jail is in this area. We touched base with them, and they let us know that they are not evacuating inmates at this point. They are sandbagging, and they let us know that if anything happens in the area, if that gypsum stack does collapse, they plan to move inmates to an upper level. And that's their plan as it stands right now. But of course, all of this information is constantly changing, and we'll bring you updates on air and online as we get them. Reporting live from Palmetto, McKenna King, ABC Action News.